Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I'm in my car. I keep switching up my space on you guys. But today we're doing a very exciting video. We're doing a story time. And if you haven't guessed by the title below, I'm going to be spilling the tea a little bit about mi madre. So basically what had happened, it was a few years ago in 2017. Yeah, 2017. It was my best friend's prom, and I actually graduated the year before, even though we're like the same age. So I was going to be her date for her prom. So I went to get my prom dress, which my grandma had, and at that time my mom was living at my grandma's apartment, which little did she know, my name was also on that lease to, help my grandma qualify as like a co-signer, So I go, everything at this point, for those of you who know, I still don't talk to my mom. At that time I wasn't really talking to my mom either. At this time we were somewhat civil with each other, so it was fine. When I went, she and I kind of caught up. I was showing her pictures on my phone and everything, like we were just catching up, she was asking me how Jimmy is, the whole spiel, right? So I finally get my prom dress and I feel super good because I actually lost weight since the last time I wore it. So I'm like, yes, it's a little bit smaller on me, but since it's the corset, I can tighten it a little bit. And I still have to wear straps so it doesn't bloop, fall down because it was a strapless. So it was like, maybe I was showing her pictures of my niece or something. And before that, she actually, before all of this, maybe a few months prior to that, she actually sold our house, and so that's why they moved. And when it was like maybe a month or two before her selling our house, she actually took a trip to Dubai, which is a whole thing in and of itself. But she was out of the country, I want to say maybe a week or 2 weeks, I think. So in that time, my dad came to visit. He came with my stepmom, and at that time, this was like the first time meeting my stepsister and my stepbrother. So they came. This was, I think, the first time he'd be meeting Jimmy and seeing my brother since he was basically a baby. No, it'd be the first time he saw my brother since my high school graduation. I'm sorry. So they came. We went to, sightseeing and like downtown and all this fun stuff. And my mom had no idea. And of course, my brother wanted to tag along. So, we do this whole big group outing, had a fun day together, had dinner a few nights, going out to like Outback Steakhouse with my grandma and everything. And of course, we're taking pictures, we're doing a group family picture, all that stuff, right? So fast forward to when I'm getting my prom dress with my mom in her apartment. She's going through my phone, and my mom, being my mom, when I want to show her a picture, she's the kind of person who will take the phone and just start swiping it like this. When it's like, I was showing you one picture and I honestly totally forgot about that picture, and I wasn't really paying attention about which way she was swiping. So she swiped after seeing a picture of my niece, and she sees the big group picture with me, Jimmy, my dad, my brother, and my step-siblings. Woohoo! She blew a gasket. She lost her mind. She got so upset because she, wasn't aware he came. She's like, no one told me. No one asked permission if Patrick, my brother, could go see him. And me being me, because we butt heads a lot, I was like, okay, so you want me to call you when you're in Dubai, when you don't have an international plan, to say, hey, heads up, Dad's coming, Patrick wants to see him. Me being a rational person, I was like, every person has a right to see their parent. So it doesn't matter what custody agreement you have, he has a right to see Dad. So we're just arguing back and forth, and we're yelling at that point because she cannot have a rational conversation. Those of you who have seen my Abused by My Mom video, I'll link it in the description down below. Gives you just a little taste of basically what I was dealing with and kind of give you more insight into my mom. And who, I don't remember if I mentioned in that video, she basically is a sociopath. Like when I describe her to other people, they're like, oh yeah, dude, she's a full-on sociopath or bipolar, which she was, and probably still is. I haven't talked to her in years. I'm 20, almost 22 now. I haven't talked to her since I was like 18, actually since this whole incident. So we're basically yelling at each other to the point where the whole apartment is shaking, and Patrick's in the next room. My grandma's just in the living room because there's like nowhere else for her to go. And we're just yelling at each other. She's saying terrible things. Me like basically trying to, like, my dad is brainwashing us into trying to have a relationship with him. Like, all this nonsense. Like, it was so ridiculous, guys. I don't even remember all the nonsense she spewed out. And let's see, I forgot what exactly I said. Oh, I basically told, because she was only supposed to be in that apartment for like 2 weeks. It was like more like months at that point. And she was supposed to go to Turkey, which those of you who don't know, I'm half Turkish and my mom is Turkish. She was supposed to go to Turkey. She's been there forever. So I told her basically, to paraphrase it, go to Turkey. This is my apartment. My name is on the lease. So I want you out of my apartment. You're not on the lease. You don't have a say. She's like, what do you mean? This is grandma's apartment, blah, blah, blah. She didn't know that my name and honestly Jimmy's name is on the lease as co-signers. So it's still our apartment. So technically it's supposed to be me, Jimmy, and my grandma living in that 2-bedroom apartment. So let's see. She thought my aunt was a co-signer because my grandma didn't want me involved in any conversations. So, which I, wanted her to. So she is like, what do you mean? This is grandma's apartment, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, I will show you the freaking lease. My name and Jimmy's name is on the lease, and I want you out of my damn apartment now. You have no right to be here. You're technically an unauthorized occupant, which is, since I'm in leasing, that's what it's called. I said, I need you out of the apartment, or I'm calling the police and having them escort you out. And she's like, oh, you wouldn't call the cops on your own mother, blah, blah, blah. So I storm out with my prom dress, and my grandma wanted to just come with me because she knows that she hates it when I'm upset and I drive, and Jimmy's honestly the same way too. She hates it when I'm upset and drive, so she came with me. We went to 7-Eleven so she can get some cigarettes. And she didn't think I was actually going to call the police. She and my mom didn't think I would. They thought I was just upset and was just saying stuff. No, I called the cops. I said, look, she may be armed because my mom did have a gun. I don't know if it was in the apartment or not. She used to have a permit to carry, but it was expired. I said, look, there's this woman trespassing in my apartment. I asked her several times, first kindly, and then basically yelling at her to get out of my apartment. She is trespassing. And even told her that I will call you guys. She may be armed. I cannot confirm. She may have a gun, and she may actually have drugs in the apartment. And when I say drugs, guys, I don't mean like weed or cocaine or anything like that. I mean, she had like a root canal or something. So she had like leftover painkillers. Like I think it was Oxy and Valium, honestly. And she also had like a boob job. Whole other story with that. So she basically had leftover pain meds from all of that, some of which I'm pretty sure was expired, but she would still take anyway. So I was like, look, she may have this stuff, like these, prescription strong narcotics in her possession. Don't know if she had taken any of them from the time I left the apartment to calling you, because she usually does it to calm herself. So they're like, okay, we'll be right there. They brought 2, patrol cars coming, and I was speaking to the officers to let them know, and my grandma's all smoking up like a chimney because she is so stressed. And I basically relayed all that same information to the on-site officers. And it turns out in the time that I left to the cops showing up, my mom told Patrick, pack your bags, we're going to Turkey tonight. Patrick is like, what the F? No. Like, he's freaking out, but he like internalizes everything. So he's just kind of giving a stare of like, what the fuck? And so they went up, talked to her separately, asked her, I guess, because I didn't go up with them, basically said, we need you to leave. Do you have, narcotics? Do you have a gun? Then they also talked to my brother separately because he at that time was 16. He's 17 now. And he was just so distraught by what my mom had said of, oh, pack your bags, we're going to Turkey like today or tomorrow, that he was super upset And like, I guess he got so upset that, and like I think it's also like what I told them about the gun and all this nonsense, that child services apparently got involved to see if she was like a fit mom and all this stuff. And so my mom is like saying all this stuff of, oh, you ruined our family, blah blah blah, they're gonna take Patrick away from me. And they required him and my mom to go to therapy. And my mom, and I hear this from my brother because they were in the same room together, like a mother-son therapy thing. My mom convinced the therapist that I was a pothead who was delusional and was taking other drugs other than smoking weed, which, no, none of that is true. She convinced a therapist that. And my brother texted me, he's like, so mom just did this, just letting you know. And some of you may ask, do you regret calling the cops? Did it do anything? It did. It got my mom out of the country. Because she's in Turkey now. CPS thinks that my brother's with her, so she's out of the country. I don't care. My brother now lives with my dad up in New Jersey and is actually having an education. And he had some much needed therapy after all the shit she put us through. So I don't regret it at all. But yeah, that's my story time. All right, guys, so that was my story time. Yes, there is a car leaving that I see. But I hope you enjoyed the story time. Got plenty more of them that don't really involve the cops, but involve her craziness. But I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below right here. And since clearly I'm not really posting on a set schedule anymore due to my work schedule kind of bouncing around like there's no tomorrow, make sure you hit that notification bell so that way as soon as I upload a video, you will actually be notified that I uploaded. So just go ahead and do that for me. I'm on the long road to 1,000 subscribers and I know we can do it, you guys. So don't forget to share this video, tell your friends about this video on my channel. I would love for you all to be part of the Sammy Q family, is I guess what I'll call it for right now. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I will see you next time. Bye.